Barcelona, home to some of the most distinctive architecture in the entire world. From the ancient to the modern to the bold and colorful, the buildings of Barcelona are a feast of shapes, texture, and color. For the audiovisual community, the relationship between technology and design can be challenging. If an AV expert is brought in too late, it limits the potential solutions that they can provide. So today, we're checking out Catet Optica, an eyeglasses store where AV worked hand in hand with architects and interior designers to create a gorgeous shopping experience.
El meu avi, que el 1888, ells tenien una fàbrica familiar fabricant d'ulleres i es va enamorar de la ciutat i finalment el 1902 va obrir la primera botiga al Portal de l'Àngel.
Catet is a company with a lot of history, and it became for us quickly a challenging project in how to help to transform a very traditional company, adding these digital layers, but at the same time preserving all the history.
Balancing tradition and cutting-edge technology can be tricky, but fortunately the team in Instronic was involved in the design of the space from the very beginning.
It is very important to get into the project at the early stages of the project, so there is where you really can influence on how to integrate the technology. In this specific case, for example, the interior design was something very clean, minimal.
La idea que teníem nosaltres és de poder interactuar amb els nostres clients. No volíem un espai fred tecnològic que el client tingués que participar, que se'l deixés a l'aventura davant de la informàtica, sinó que fos els nostres col·laboradors amb el client que pogués d'una forma positiva jugar.
Before clients can shop in the store, they have to find the store. And on this busy Barcelona street, it's more difficult than you would think.
One of the peculiarities of this space is that this is a really big space, but it has like a very narrow and tiny entrance and a low visibility along the street. And we designed a solution on the entrance that can get like a great impact from the outside, from the exterior face, and also a high visibility along the street. To create an impact, we cannot put it like perpendicular because we're going to use like, it goes like, here it goes like every centimeter is so important because the entrance has to be like as much open as possible.
For much of the space, the design and digital signage are subtle, but there's one AV component that's a real showstopper.
In the sport area, they wanted to have the clients to have an interaction. We decided for a simple lift and learn solution. You lift a product and it triggers a video, and at the end it's something quite simple, but we were looking for this effectiveness.
Tot aquest món, avui en dia, que és nou, poder explicar al client en les noves tecnologies, amb una pantalla, amb imatges, amb so, facilita molt la comprensió i l'explicació de cap al client i el client ho comprèn millor i llavors tota la venda és més fàcil i la satisfacció final del client també.
Since opening its doors, this award-winning store has welcomed customers from all around the world. As much fun as it was to show you all around today, I have some exploring to do. Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Just kidding.
Got
There
it.
we go. Hey,
Oh,
there's
okay.
it. There it is.
Sorry, everybody had to see
No,
that.
it's okay. You guys get to hear me again, which is great. Hey, welcome back to the AVIXA Exchange live booth for our final session of InfoComm, unfortunately. But we've got this last one, and I'm joined by none other than my co-host,
We're
Miss Sam Powell.
almost at the end of the day. It's been a pleasure sitting next to you, Ben. You give me life. That's all I
She
can
holds
say.
me down. It's great. It's wonderful. But we're talking enterprise audio in this first session, joined today by Mr. Tim Hernquist of Jabra and Lawrence Simon from Crestron. Guys, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, very happy to be here.
Tim, we'll go ahead and start with you. You know, when we talk about the AV enterprise market, obviously the needs are a little bit more different than an experiential AV installation, things like that. You know, what are some of the trends that you're seeing right now, especially from the last 2 to 3 years, that the enterprise AV market is looking for?
Yeah, obviously, I hate to say it, but I'm going to use the buzzword of hybrid work. That's what we see every day, and actually we see it all the time when we talk to our customers. Hybrid work is here, and it's here to stay. Folks are going to be working at home, at work, or anywhere in between. And so, I'm back. Okay, so if we're working at home, at work, and anywhere in between, you need to have technology that enables good, productive experiences either way. So that's what we talk about now.
Oh, there we go. Okay, and sorry, Lauren, same question to you. What are some of the things you've seen over the last 2 to 3 years in the enterprise AV market?
I have to go with the buzzword, right? It is hybrid work, but it's all about how our environments have to change to meet the new needs, right? People are always going to be, there's always going to be a remote element, but there always still needs to be that collaboration in person. So how do you make sure your space is designed to facilitate the needs of both your in-person and your remote workers is where we're seeing all the changes going.
And making sure that you have all of the right pieces in place, obviously, is very important. So can you just speak a little to what you're seeing are the buying patterns within this market?
Yeah, so I mean, for us, they're upgrading existing technologies. We have the base of what we need. We just need to now change the, technology's evolved so much in the last 2 years, especially on the video side. It's making sure that we have the right solutions in the right spaces, and that's kind of what's driving the decisions. We're seeing a lot of real estate change. We're seeing a lot of floor plans being ripped up and adding in more flexible spaces, more desk booking types, areas where you have a hot desking type location, and obviously, video conferencing and intelligent video is being added into almost every one of the spaces now.
Exactly. So we're also seeing that people who are coming back into the office want a place where they can collaborate easily, but they also want a place in the same office where they can get their head down and get some work done. So being able to offer them a wide portfolio of services and products that can enable productivity in both scenarios is what we're talking about.
Well, look, we talk about the people coming back into the office, and ironically enough, when we talk about AV installations, they're often operated by people who are not technical whatsoever, outside of being able to use one of these bad boys. But, Lauren, whenever you're building products and you're designing integrations, how do you design from a standpoint of an end user who literally may not even know how to use your product?
It's gotten even worse in the last couple of years. If you think about it, right? Before, when everybody was in the office 100% of the time, they had time to play with stuff, right? And we had more time to train them. Well, now you have people who come into the office once or twice a week. And so if something changes, it's a bigger behavioral change for them. We actually see people that are afraid of the touchscreens on the wall. Even when we use touchscreens every day, they say, we don't want to break anything. And so for us, it's really designing a user experience that's the same across the board. So if I can operate one space, I can operate any space in my facility. And that's really what we're trying to focus our designs on, is making sure that everyone works the exact same way.
And Tim, on a similar note, especially on the video conferencing side, a lot of these end users are having to deal with basic video composition that they may not have had to deal with, right? Things like rule of thirds, lighting, just basic framing. Those are things that you're now having to deal with, maybe that you weren't having to deal with 3 to 4 years ago. Yeah,
there's a couple of parts to it that I think are important. First of all, making sure you're in the field of view if you're in the meeting. Older cameras were only looking at single lens focus and limited field of view. With the Panicast 50, for example, we've got 180-degree field of view, so everybody who's in the room is in the meeting, first and foremost. And secondly, being able to create intelligent video experiences that curate the meeting a little bit so that the folks that are on the far end get a great experience as if they were in the room with the folks in the near end, in the room itself.
And continuing with that idea of creating those amazing experiences, while we've been here, we've been talking a lot about immersive experience, like that technology that's available. Where do you see that playing more so in that enterprise realm, and yeah, where do you see the future of that?
So for me, I see it in every one of our spaces. We were actually just talking about this before we came on. We have a relationship and a partnership between Crestron and Jabra for their Panicast 50 and video conferencing kits. And we have a lot of different technologies that go, small rooms all the way to large spaces. What we were trying to get our customers to think about is what's the experience for not only the people in the room, but the people on the far end. Every space is different. We know not every room is just 4 square walls and a ceiling and a floor. Things like this are now turning into more collaborative workspaces. So how do we make sure that the experience in there is what we need? And there's a lot of different technologies that do it based on that type of experience.
Well, look, this is the final time we get to pull the AVIXA Slot Machine 5000 Random Question Generator 2.0, whatever we want to call it. So let's roll it one more time for Tim and Lauren.
The question is, what is the funniest AV trend right now?
Tim, I can see the eyes rolling back in your head right now, so we're starting with you, baby.
I'm going to talk about human fidelity. Human fidelity scale is what we talk about all the time. I love single lens cameras that are pulling people's heads apart, and often we talk about the guy who works out with a barbell on his left arm but not on his right arm. So for the Panicast 50, we're trying to fix that by creating a 3-lens camera that makes sure that the human looks like a human, so when you talk to that person, you don't have any dissonance, and you're having a good, productive meeting.
Look, it is, I will give you that. It is hilarious sometimes when someone shows up on screen and their face is like demorphed and weird and goofy. Lauren, we'll have you wrap us up here. Same question.
I was going to say the same thing.
Oh, sorry.
But for me, it's the bowling alley, right? Is that the same thing, right? Single camera lens where you've got that long, 20, 30 person table, and you can barely see the little marching heads at the other side. And we like to have a little bit of fun with that, too.
Look, I appreciate you guys coming on and having a good time with us. To wrap up
Definitely.
this session this week, we've got one more after this, but the absolute moment that everybody, specifically just me, has been waiting for, the third and hopefully not final episode of InfoComm is ready. Let's play it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the next episode of InfoComm. I am standing right now at what's called the Wheel of Death, which is terrifying. But this is Ka Theater here at the MGM Grand. Ka has been so generous and allowed us to go behind the scenes at the show and take a look at what makes the show tick. The depths, the bowels of the venue.
Well, we're not going to the pit.
Oh, we're not going to the pit. We're not going to the deepest bowels, but we're going to bowl number 2. That was not, what was that? That was a weird thing I just said.
So at the beginning of the show, you have the fireballs and there's some atmosphere.
Yep.
Nothing crazy.
I love it because it's
Crazy.
just giant plumes of fire and a lot of fire in the show.
A lot of flame balls.
This is my wardrobe department.
Yeah. During the show, this entire structure goes down 16.5 feet.
Wow.
My name is Donald Leffert. I am the lighting and special effects supervisor for Ka here. Anything that emits light or blows up, catches on fire, or smokes falls into my realm.
So naturally I have to ask, have you burned the place down yet?
No, I have not. It's still here. We're still good. Everything's safe.
Well, Donald, what's been your favorite thing so far about working on this show?
Just the epic scale of this show. You're never ever going to see anything like this ever again. I mean, it is massive.
And now I'm joined by Lindsay, one of the people that you actually get to see on stage doing all the cool stuff that people like me and all the tech people around the world really wish we could do, but can't.
I started back in October 2013, so it's been about 8.5 years, and I've loved every minute of it.
Do you have to dive into the giant airbag below the stage?
We do fall into that airbag quite a bit throughout the show, but a cool little fact about that is it's the biggest airbag in the entire world, and so you won't see that anywhere else. It's something here that's very unique.
That was incredible to see backstage at what makes a Cirque show tick. Thanks again so much to the team at KA and Cirque and the MGM Grand for letting us go behind the scenes. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you've had a great InfoComm. Woo! That was fun. I will say we were backstage for about an hour, and it was one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life. So thank you very much again to the Cirque team and the team over at MGM and our wonderful film crew for risking your lives to film me being goofy. But other than that, Sam, I think we have some more guests.
I think we have two good guests, I would say. I would like to take this time to introduce you to two of my fabulous AVIXA co-workers. We have Sam Minish and Rodrigo Casusa. Nope, I did it wrong. You're going to have to tell me. Casasuscoque. I did it. Awesome. Well, I want to thank them both for being here. They've worked tirelessly on our AVIXA Exchange platform. Hopefully, you've had a chance to stop by the booth if you are here. If not, we're definitely going to want to make sure that you're checking that out online. So I want to just turn it over to you guys now. Please tell us as much as you can about the AVIXA Exchange and what was the thinking behind it, and what are you hoping to accomplish with this platform?
For us, the idea was actually InfoComm was one of our original sources of inspiration for the exchange. When you're in person and you're able to have communications and conversations and really dive into things that don't always translate outside of that. And when it came time to, as the world got a little weird the last couple of years, we knew that we had to be able to take that step and be able to connect that industry 365 days a year around the globe, create a very inclusive environment, create a very global environment that helped the industry really showcase what they were great at, and ask the hard questions that we're all asking ourselves, right? There's conversations on there about how to be more inclusive in your work, how to create your technology in such a way that it's accessible to global audiences and to different demographics. And there's conversations in there about everything from live events to conferencing and collaboration. And it's really designed to bring folks together, to bridge those gaps across technology, across people, and make them truly shine.
It's the space that was not there, right? It's that space where our industry can get together, companies, individuals, users, technology specialists of all kind. They can tell the story, they can put it out there so everybody can see it. And I was saying this before, we deal with a lot of intangibles, things that are very difficult to explain. And this is the space where companies and individuals will be able to tell their story and show around in a tangible way, what they do. So we are really excited about this.
Well, Sam, we were having a conversation with Dave on this stage earlier. We were talking about some of the new communities in AV, whether that's IT, whether that's higher education, ed tech, things like that. What the exchange actually does is it lowers the barrier for entry to those communities. But what is the goal once we get those people in the door with the exchange?
I think it's all about creating understanding, right? At the end of the day, though we're all here for technology, it's all about humans. I was talking to the brilliant Alicia Hensley earlier, and we had a really good conversation about how you've got to bring the people to the conversation, and you have to be able to create that human experience. By making the exchange so accessible, right? It's free for anybody, individuals to join. We're really trying to be able to create that accessibility into these new spaces, right? We have to be able to bridge gaps that we don't always know how to bridge, right? We have to be able to have the conversations that sometimes are hard, are sometimes, IT is a really good example. Many will argue that IT is AV and AV is IT, but not everybody who's in one or the other space identifies as being in one of those spaces. And that's okay, right? We all have our personal brand and our personal identity. And this is a place where you can showcase that within our community, right? These are all like-minded professionals. These are folks that bring completely different perspectives from around the world. I mean, the challenges that are being solved, for example, in Latin America are very different in many ways, but also very similar to, you know, markets in EMEA and in APAC. So, and Rodrigo knows about that better than anybody.
Absolutely. Even today, we have IT people that are being told, oh, we need to build a conference room now. You're IT, you should do it. And they have no idea where to start. So the exchange is going to be that place where they can walk in, right, and find providers of every solution in their city, their countries, that will be able to help them to deliver this.
That's fantastic. And where can someone find the exchange? Where will they go to locate it?
So we've got it completely open to the world at this point. You do have to sign up for an account, but it's free and easy to sign up. It is at exchange with an X .avixa.org. And you can find it, you know, we'll be posting a lot of this content exclusively on the exchange so that we can continue these conversations. We've had such good depth of knowledge that's been shared this week, and we really want to share and continue that inspiration.
Well, Rodrigo, one of the things that I love about the exchange is, you know, a lot of times you see a platform like this and only the social media manager, only the marketer are the only people involved with this. The difference with the exchange is you see a lot of engineers, you see a lot of integrators and designers. What's the importance of having those communities on the exchange and not just the social media teams?
Well, because we are the ones that tell the story, right? Every person that works in the industry will have a voice, and that's, I think, makes it tremendously attractive for everyone. And I want to add another thing, that it will not be only in English. Va a estar en español, in Italian, Portuguese, many languages, and this makes it so easy around the globe.
Well, that's fantastic. And we also wanted to just briefly speak about, you know, us using this platform here at the AVIXA Exchange booth to have a direct channel to talk to the AV community with, you know, AVIXA TV. So I think, you know, would you like to speak a little bit about that? Because I think you're partially the brainchild.
I was a little bit involved, yeah. I have an absolutely brilliant team that's been executing on this and has really produced and designed some inspiration. What we're really trying to do, just much like the exchange, is be approachable, be accessible, be inclusive. We understand that not everybody can travel to shows yet, although you should. It's lots of fun. Yeah. And sometimes there's brand new audiences, right? And there's different types of folks that are able to come or not come. What we're trying to do is serve that audience that can't physically be here in a unique way, in a way that is very accessible to them, very snackable, very bite-sized, but still inspirational, still informative. And so bringing together AVIXA TV, which is sort of its own concept and its own conversation, and then, you know, the AVIXA Exchange, which again was its own concept, bridging between the two of them just felt like a very natural step. We're going to continue. You'll see us throughout the world. AVIXA TV, this is not the last you have heard of AVIXA TV for sure. We've got some really incredible projects, a lot of them very much like the behind the scenes that we were able to do with Cirque. And yeah, they went out and they had a good time, because at the end of the day, AV is cool. Yeah. Like it's really cool.
And
so.
Dangerous.
Dangerous.
There's fire. And
face melting.
Danger.
Face melting.
Face melting was a big theme today.
The term of the day today. Well, thank you guys so much for being with us today. We really appreciate it. And I want everybody right now, if you can, go check out the exchange. And if you're still here at InfoComm, please stop by the booth. We've got so much energy still, and we're here to go over any questions that you may have. But it's really just going to be a continuation of all the excitement and energy and knowledge that we can share here within our Pro AV industry. So thank you so much again.
Thank you both.
So right now, I think we're going to take some time and take a look at the highlights from the week.
I am so excited to be here. Anybody who's not here, is getting serious FOMO. I keep getting emails and texts from people saying they wish they were here. And I'm looking out at the floor, and it's just busy, busy, busy. So I'm really happy to be here.
Because I'm from Europe, I flew over to come to this show and to see what's new, and the exhibitors show new stuff. So a lot of discussions are going on about flip chip, COB, about AV over IP, different technical things, and that's amazing.
It's also a chance to understand from our partners and customers, as well as some of our competitors, what's happening in the market, what's their need, what is some of the changes they are seeing, and how can we today and in the future meet those goals as well.
Look, it's been incredible to see everybody here this week. You know, we want to thank you guys so much for watching not only AVIXA TV Live here from the booth, but also the Tech Innovation Stage. It's been incredible and wonderful and amazing to hear all the thought leadership, hear all of the trainings, both at the stage and here at the booth. Sam, any last words?
I couldn't agree with Ben more. It's been an honor and a privilege to work alongside you and vibe off of your energy and just to feel the energy here at InfoComm. And hopefully all of you can join us next year at InfoComm 2023, June 10th through the 16th in Orlando, Florida. So you may want to go ahead and buy your plane ticket now, because it's probably going to be like $2,000 at this point.
Oh, that
Airfare is ridiculous.
I'll end with this. Shameless plug, we will be wrapping up the show over at the Technology Innovation Stage in about an hour from now. But before then, look, it doesn't matter if you're an integrator, it doesn't matter if you're brand new to the community, it doesn't matter if you've been here forever. We want you to interact on the exchange. It's a great place to share ideas and learn and train and really involve people that may not have had a voice previously. So we want you to talk, we want you to be heard, we want you to be seen. We encourage you to do that on the AVIXA Exchange. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week to AVIXA TV Live from the AVIXA Exchange booth. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you all. Take care.